This is my Hoya New Guinea Ghost. This is a Hoya that I've struggled with in the past. This is the third Hoya New Guinea Ghost that I've purchased, and now she is thriving. I finally figured her out. So I want to share with all of you how I take care of both of my Hoya New Guinea Ghosts. I propagated and created a backup, and now my backup is like a full plant. This is my other one. So I have two. One is growing in Lechuza pond in a self-watering setup. This one is obviously lower maintenance because it's in a self-watering setup. So I refill the water reservoir when it gets dry. And then this one is growing in a tropical treasure mix made by Crystal Star Nursery, which is a mix of like orchid bark, sphagnum moss, leca, and like a whole bunch of other goodies that keeps it really super well draining. This specific setup, I do water more frequently because it gets obviously drier faster. So I tend to water this Hoya around every 3-4 days, because one thing I learned really quickly about this Hoya is it's not very forgiving. So if it stays dry too long, hates you immediately. The leaves are thinner, so most Hoya people shouldn't be surprised that it's a thirsty Hoya. But I just found the fact that it was not forgiving surprising. The other thing is this is very susceptible to false mites. So I lost my first one to false mites, and it was actually the first time I've ever dealt with it. I didn't realize that the scabbing in the back was indicative of a false mite infestation, and by the time I discovered it, it was honestly too late. Like, the Hoya was just not healthy, it was not happy, and it didn't want to live. So I gave up. And then the second one I killed through just not watering consistently enough. Like, I was not watering it consistently enough that it was, it stayed too dry for too long. So like it experienced dry rot. And like I said, this Hoya is sensitive. If it's not happy with you, it's not going to give you any love back, like no matter what. Rightfully so, I guess. But I recommend a self-watering setup if you are familiar with it, because it's honestly super easy. You refill the water when the water reservoir is dry. The only thing I don't like about a self-watering setup is when your Hoyas do get mature, I find it's hard to repot because the roots are like, the roots go through the little netting pot. So I find you get a lot of root damage when you try to repot a Hoya. I do like the Tropical Treasure mix from Crystal Nursery because I find that it's well draining, and I definitely will not overwater this plant because it's just not possible with this medium. But it's a lot of work. Like, it's one of those things that, like, if I went on vacation, whoever helps me take care of my plant will have to water this, because I can't leave it unwatered for over 2 weeks. It'll die in this setup. So that's something you have to think about when you pick a very, very well draining, fast drying mix. But I think it's about time that I probably propagate these two, because I actually really enjoy medium-sized plants. Yeah, I do. I like this kind of size. I don't like it when it's too big, because then I just don't have enough space for it. So I'm gonna make more. Like, I don't need more. This is the Hoya New Guinea Ghost, and I hope that was helpful for all of you. If you have any questions, comment below. It's a really rewarding Hoya to grow, and fortunately it's cheaper nowadays, like much cheaper. So when I first purchased this, when it first came out, I bought a 3-leafer, I think for $300. I split it with a friend because we could cut it. We chopped it, and she got half and I got the other half. So I spent $150, but it was a $300 Hoya that died. So yeah, I learned my lesson. Yeah, I don't do that anymore. I think you can buy one now for like 20 bucks. It's really cheap now, so definitely try it because it's a fast growing Hoya, so you'll have a really lush plant in no time.